In continuation to my commentary on my book, Heaven to Hell, Satan's Journey. Today, part 4. Covered with splendor. Ezekiel chapter 28 verse 13b. It says, "You were in Eden, the garden of God. Every precious stone was your covering. The sardius, topaz and diamond, beryl, onyx and jasper, sapphire, turquoise and emerald with gold." You were in Eden, the garden of God. Says the Bible. Eden also signifies the garden of God, heaven, which is covered with precious stones. Satan had a covering all over himself of these precious stones as he was in heaven. One thing I have seen apparently about these 9 precious stones and gold is that those who worship idols wear a particular ring embedded with these 9 stones embedded in gold. Has something to do with the demonic power of Satan. They wear it to attract wealth and prosperity, they say. Think about it. Who are they connected to by this ring? In India, it is known as the Navratna ring. Satan was magnificently and impressively covered. His total ambience oozed magnificence and absolute beauty. Even if we see people wearing some of this man-made jewelry with gold and precious stones, it gives people such a magnificent look that others are impressed. Imagine Satan with all the glorious gemstones. It is obvious pride would set in, as it did in case of Satan. These magnificent gemstones with the radiance of light in heaven makes one to imagine that Satan must have glowed from all sides. The radiance and the presence of his being would have really impressed the other angels who he instigates and makes them to team up with him to rebel against God. The angels must have thought that Satan will really overthrow God, and so they joined him. Post-rapture, a similar situation will be seen on the face of the earth. People will just about receive the mark of the beast willingly, looking at the way the beast, the Antichrist, who will rule at that time, thinking that he is the ultimate God. Revelation chapter 13, verse 13 to 18, it says, "Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb and spoke like a dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast in his presence, and causes the earth and those who dwell in it to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. He performs great signs, so that he even makes fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. And he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by the sword and lived. He was granted power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many as would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hand or on their foreheads, and that no one may buy or sell except one who has the mark of the beast, has the mark of the name of the beast, or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let him who has understanding calculate the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. Some people will be so impressed by the ways of the Antichrist that they will readily take the mark of the beast and follow him. The Garden of Eden was a cover of splendor for Adam and Eve also. They had the perfect environment, heaven-like garden in the Garden of Eden. But they lost the splendor and had to be with the imperfect environment outside the garden, where in a world their every need was met with ease and much effort, now had to be met with toil and sorrow. God Almighty had them the perfect surroundings, splendid in all ways. But like their foreigner son Satan, they too lose it because of disobedience and self-will, and end up themselves in lack and limitation against God's provision of abundance. We can see this situation in the world today. There are great believers who are splendidly blessed from all sides, and there are some believers who compromise and have part of these blessings. And we can see those who do not worship God have the blessings, but with sorrow. God had not left anyone orphans, but gives a long rope to hold on of tolerance and to mend one's ways, that they may enter his kingdom and get all the splendor back for themselves, which they had lost due to the obedience to Satan. Everyone likes splendor, but how many are ready to pay the price to be with the Lord, with his ways of thinking, with his type of holiness, with his type of attitude? One cannot come to the fullness of the splendor and enjoy it without God with them fully. But the all-merciful God has made a provision through Jesus Christ that mankind may have the splendor here on the earth and in eternity. To be continued.